Now, I wanted to discuss Jordan Peterson, 12 rules for life here. And that's what this video is going to be talking about. I want to give a quick review on it. I'm mostly done with it, almost completed. I just got a couple more chapters to complete, and I'm done with the book. But before we do jump into this video here, I actually want to explain myself. You know, what am I doing? Pretty much, my video about reading that I uploaded like a year ago has been gaining more popularity, and it's just all about reading and the benefits of it and why you should read, you know, things like that. Just pretty much why I got into reading, why I love reading. Reading is so powerful, and I kind of want to make a little mini series on this YouTube channel, and it's just going to be a little book review series. I don't know how often I'm going to upload. You know, I read. I don't read an insane amount, but I do read. And before I do jump into this book, I want to kind of talk about Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson has a giant presence on the internet world. He's gotten really popular from like YouTube videos, people uploading his lectures in his college classrooms. And the thing about Jordan Peterson is he stands just by truth. He stands behind truth, and he just tries to preach the truth and what he talks about. He's a clinical psychologist, and he's a professor of psychology, and he studied the works of like Carl Jung, who was a notorious psychology writer. He's written books on psychology, and I think he's formulated a lot of the mainstream like personality tests, and he's actually also has differentiated different personality types in many ways. I don't know too much about Carl Jung. I do want one day when I read his books and what he's written to get into him more, because a lot of Jordan Peterson's psychology work has been derived from Carl Jung. So it's another, you know, interesting guy. But 12 rules for life, you know, from a guy who studies psychology and how humans operate. I think that's a pretty good intellect to bounce off of to talk about things like this, like really deep things about human nature. So starting with that, and him talking about human nature, this covers a vast array of topics of life. And so I don't, you know, from just the get-go of this book and what it gives off of, this is, you know, a self-building book, you know, for people who are searching for their meaning in life, things like that. But don't, you know, if you're not interested in that, don't disregard this book, because this covers a lot of material, you know, so far from what I've read, and I think little tits and bits and pieces can be picked apart from any reader who's reading this book. You know, you can learn something no matter who you are. Hey, just as if you're going to enter the bookstore and you take it off the shelf, I'm going to add the same dynamic. You know, say you're at the bookstore and you just, you know, it catches your eye and you start shuffling through it and read some sentences from it. I want to do the same thing. I'm going to read a couple things from this book, maybe, you know, maybe to spark up some interest. These are just some, before I started this video, there's just some things I found in the book. So yeah, I'm just going to read a couple things to you. Alright, so, you know, this is page 27, chapter 1. Standing straight with your shoulders back is the title of chapter 1. To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. It means deciding to voluntarily transform the chaos of potential into the realities of habitual order. It means adopting the burden of self-conscious vulnerability and accepting the end of unconscious paradise of childhood, where finitude, I don't know that word, and mortality are only dimly comprehended. It means willingly undertaking the sacrifices necessary to generate a productive and meaningful reality. Sorry if these are a little out of context. Still amazing statements. Let's continue here to chapter 4. Page 93, chapter 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to others. That's chapter 4. That's rule number 4. We are always and simultaneously at point A, which is less desirable than it could be, moving towards point B. We're always at point A, moving towards point B. We're always moving from point A, which which is undesirable, to point B, which seems to be more desirable. We always encounter the world in a state of insufficiency and seek its correlation. We can imagine new ways that things can be set right and improved, even if we have everything we thought we needed. This could be, say you're a super rich multi-millionaire, but you still haven't realized happiness is like a subproduct to life. It's not something you can attain. I think this is something to compare that to. We're always looking for happiness, but it's just here. We live within a framework that defines the present as eternally lacking and the future as eternally better. If we did not see things in this way, we could not act at all. We wouldn't even be able to see because to see we must focus, and to focus we must pick one thing above all else